What is up, good people of YouTube? Welcome to my 2019 budget gaming PC designed for 1080p console ass whoopin' gaming. So what you see behind me is a meow mix of new and used PC parts purchased all kinds over the internet. I'll go through the important parts in some detail and talk about the pricing that I paid and share the overall cost of the PC. And I'll also toss in a benchmark or two of my favorite two games, The Division 2 and Anthem. Why The Division and Anthem? Because they're tough on your tech. Of course this budget PC will run Fortnite. Of course it'll run Apex Legends. Of course it'll run your favorite MOBA. We want to know what's going to tax the shit out of it, and if it's going to bottleneck or bottle wreck. So let's dive into the parts one by one. Starting off the batch is our CPU, the Intel Pentium G4600. 2 cores and 4 threads ago. Released in 2017, the G4600 is a 2-core 4-thread Pentium Duo processor with a 3.6 GHz clock speed on an LGA 1151 socket. It's a 7th gen processor which trades blows with its older i3 6th gen series processors. The Pentium brand has definitely lost its appeal since the Core i processors came too, but when on a budget, we take what we can get. The hyperthreading definitely helps out during gaming compared to its Core duo brother, the G4400 and the Celerons. Stay away from those. Cooling this already cool ice cream sandwich of a CPU is the UpHere Dual 120 AIO CPU cooler, another Chinese entry-level brand that's come into the Amazon marketplace with low pricing and decent performance. For under $70, you get yourself an LED cooler with a 240mm rad and 2 LED 120 fans, and compatibility with all Intel sockets, and most AMD as well. Sorry, Threadripper. Alright, next up, a trip down memory lane. Oh, I am on a roll today. We're rocking 8GB of DDR4 memory from Crucial, the Ballistix Sport LT 2400MHz dual channel memory kit in red. Not much more to say about the RAM. 8GB is still sufficient for most games and your average day-to-day PC activities. I did notice that the more taxing games that I spoke about earlier will pretty much bring you to your limit in RAM. Specifically when playing The Division 2 and Anthem. The total combined memory usage with the game and Windows hovered around 7.6GB in use. That's pretty close to the bandsaw for my boys. I'd say you'd get away with gaming, but forget about any streaming or recording programs in the background. Mama, ooh, you'll bring us all together and overclock us greater. Okay, well I think that's where I'll just stop. Jumping into the motherboard, we've got the MSI H270-A PRO Motherboard on the Intel H270 chipset, with support up to any 7th gen Core i processor on the LGA 1151 socket, with memory support up to 2400MHz, 4 DIMM slots, a maximum of 64GB of RAM, yeah, like you'll need that, 1 M.2 slot, 4 USB 3.1 Gen Type A slots, 2 PCIe X16 slots if you want to run SLI or Crossfire, and a built-in onboard sound processing card by Realtek. Out of all the budget boards available, I picked this one since it was the ATX form factor. I did come across cheaper boards with the same features, but they were all micro ATX, and that doesn't look good in a glass panel medium tower. Walmart build much? Up next is our storage device, aka Snooze Fest. As our boot drive, I'm using a Kingston A400 120GB SSD. It has enough room to plop Windows on it, your important go-to programs, and possibly a game or two. This PC does have another hard drive installed, the Western Digital Blue 256GB. The drive selection for this PC is decent. Not the best, but decent. Storage is pretty cheap, and most new hard drives are fast enough to run games in Windows and all your applications. I've never been a fanatic about storage or benchmark transfer rates, but for some people this seems to be an important topic. The A400 has a read speed up to 500MB a second and write speed of 450MB a second. A bare bones SSD with no special encryption features. As an SSD, it's still faster than any hard drive and takes up much less real estate in your rig. Yes, and the moment you've all been waiting for, the bronze of the PC, the muscle, the juicy tech that we splurge on when we upgrade our rigs, the GPU. So in this rig I have the Gigabyte G1 Gaming GTX 1060 graphics card with 6GB of GDDR5 192-bit memory, base clock of 1620MHz, and boost clock of 1847MHz in OC mode. The WindForce 2X cooling system keeps this card very cool and the fans are barely audible. When the card is idling, the fans come to a complete stop, so it's dead quiet when you're just browsing the net. It only takes up 2 card slots in your rig and has one 8-pin power connector. For you RGB fans, the Gigabyte and fan stop logo can be turned on and off via Gigabyte's downloadable application, and you can control the color, effects, or completely shut it off. If you install the card without the app, it will simply cycle through the standard RGB color. Which brings us to the final part of our 2019 budget gaming PC build, the case. Unfortunately, the NZXT S340 Elite is no longer available for sale by retailers, especially the white color. You might still find one in the used market, so keep your eyes open if your heart is set on this case. The S340 comes with two 120 fans, one in the back and one in the top. The reason the case doesn't come with intake fans is because it's geared towards having an AIO cooler in the front. Since there's no rad support on the top, you're forced to mount your 240 or 280 AIO in the front and pump in all that regurgitated CPU air. You also have the option to air cool your CPU, that way you can grab yourself a couple of fans in the front and bring in cool fresh air for all your components. But let's face it, this rig isn't going to have any temperature issues. I'll list all the fan support specs down below in the description. What about cable management? Wah, it's so hard, tank top. Not for the S340. Managing your electrocompulsive spider webs in the back is an absolute breeze. With plastic straps and channel raceway all kinds in the back, you're practically letting the case build the system for you. With lots of mounting options for cables and 1 inch of cable space, you'll have no problems running all your cables neatly through the backside. And finally, we've loaded our shopping cart with all the components and we're ready to check out. So what's the verdict? Not so fast, broski. Opinions come after the benchmarks. Right now we're going to discuss the pricing. The following prices shown are prices that I've paid for the items in Canadian dollars. Don't worry USA, I'll convert the dollars from funny money to the greenback, so you can get a sense of the value. So totaling everything up, we can see that for $654 USD, including a used monitor, we're able to break out of the console restrictiveness and get into PC gaming. Now the question is, how does it run the two most demanding games in 2019? Buckle up. Well, there you have it, folks. The results speak for themselves. Is this the ultimate gaming PC of 2019? Heck no. Did you miss the title on your way over to my channel? What you didn't miss was decent evidence that a PC of this caliber can easily play these two 2019 AAA titles. Take a few minutes to fine-tune your graphics settings and you'll find that sweet spot where you can game at a good FPS. Despite everything, it'll run better than a console, and you'll still have tons of potential for upgrades in the future. It's okay. When it's time to switch up your console, you can always trade it in at the local pawn shop for some G.I. Joes or one Benjamin Franklin. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like and subscribe if you like the content, and stay tuned for more sassy videos.